For a moment it almost feels like it's really over. The truck bumps over the jagged ground, carrying the survivors out of the abyss. Relief hums through the air. Murray's hands are on the bomb timer. His grin half laughing, half nervous. Everyone leans back, letting the wheels carry them toward safety. But the calm doesn't last. They cross a stretch of road that wasn't on any map. The truck shudders. Metal screeches against hidden spikes embedded in the earth. Tires rupture. The vehicle fishtails. The world narrows to the scent of burning rubber, and the deafening roar of the Upside Down trying to close in on them. And there she is, Dr. K, fully armed, flanked by soldiers and her soundwave devices, waiting for 11. It's perfect, cruelly orchestrated. If they fail here, K will have everything she needs to start it all over. The team braces for impact. 11 isn't there. Not physically. She slipped between the cracks of reality, leaving the soldiers and even her friends struggling to make sense of where she went. Mike lunges, instinct pulling him forward. But then the world bends around him. He's not running. He's inside her mind. She's there. Fragile and strong all at once. Tear tracks streak her face as she pulls him into a memory. A place built of every laugh, every fight, every waffle they ever shared. Flashbacks flicker. First kisses, arguments, moments of fear and courage, all of it stitched together in a heartbeat. I have to stay, she says softly, voice breaking. So it ends for everyone. Mike can only shake his head, choking back his own tears. She presses his hand to her chest and whispers that she needs him to tell the others her reasons. That's all he can take. That's all any of them can take. The timer hits 0. The bomb detonates. Reality tears open like paper. The Upside Down shudders, collapses, dissolves into a cascade of shimmering debris. Waves of energy surge outward, tearing everything loose from its foundation. Buildings, creatures, memories, everything is hurled into the void, swallowed by nothingness. In the middle of it all, 11 appears one last time at the Max Z gate. Her hair whips in the chaos, her eyes glowing faintly. The survivors scream her name in slow motion, their voices lost in the roar of collapse. And then she's gone. The gate collapses with her, leaving only the ruins of Hawkins' library behind. Silence hits, thick and absolute. The camera pans over the survivors' faces. Grief, shock, awe, and a quiet, reluctant hope mingling together. Dust settles, the world finally still. 18 months have passed. Rockin' Robin's voice drifts through the squawk once again. Familiar, a little older, a little wiser. The town hums beneath her narration. The military is gone. Hawkins is settling into itself. A little quieter, a little bruised but alive. Steve stands on a little league field, cap tilted just so, glove in hand, directing kids with the kind of confidence that comes from surviving the impossible. Derek races around the bases, grinning like he owns the diamond. Steve shouts encouragement, laughs, and it feels briefly like everything is normal. Graduation morning stretches across the town like sunlight on pavement. Max zips along on her skateboard, the wind teasing her hair, laughter spilling into the warm air. Lucas adjusts his toga with a grin that says he's ready for whatever comes next. Dustin, standing at the podium, clears his throat, valedictorian speech in hand, and the class waits in eager anticipation. At Hopper's cabin, the scene is domestic, chaotic, perfect. Jonathan crouches with his camera, framing shots of Will squinting into the lens, Joyce laughing beside him, and Hopper standing tall, proud in his sheriff's uniform. They bicker lightly about the lighting, Jonathan insisting, Hopper rolling his eyes, but beneath the teasing is comfort, a strange hard-earned peace. The phone rings, Karen Wheeler's voice buzzes through the speaker. And then there's Mike. He's not at the ceremony. He's alone, standing at the memorial for the great earthquake, fingers tracing the etched names, memories pressing in. The quiet is heavy. 11's absence hangs between the trees and the wind, palpable. Hopper finds him there, his steps careful, his presence steady. He doesn't rush. He doesn't speak at first, just lets Mike feel the weight of the moment. Finally, he breaks the silence. Does it hurt less? Mike shakes his head, a small unguarded movement, but the tension eases. Hopper doesn't fix it. He doesn't try. He offers understanding, a hand on Mike's shoulder, a presence earned over years of trial. You know she chose this, Hopper says softly, and that means she did it for all of us. For you. Mike lets it sink in. A pause, a breath, and then finally a smile. Small, quiet, genuine. Acceptance and grief entwined, sorrow and love coexisting. The Hawkins class of 1989 gathers in the sunlit gym, tassels swaying, sneakers squeaking on polished floors. Mike arrives late, breathless, and Karen swoops in, relief etched across her scarred skin, the marks of survival, a permanent reminder of what they've endured. She pulls him close, just for a moment, before letting him take his place among his classmates. Dustin steps up to the podium. The weight of the moment presses against him. He begins cautiously, a valedictorian's formalities, but the words soon spill into something raw. A childhood stolen, monsters both real and imagined, and yet somehow the goodness, the friendships, the laughter in the dark. He draws a parallel to Dungeons and Dragons, the game that first armed them with courage when the world turned upside down. A smirk spreads across his face. With a single dramatic motion, he yanks off his gown, revealing the Hellfire Club shirt beneath. Iron Maiden's The Trooper roars through the speakers. The gym explodes with cheers, laughter, and the kind of pride only comes from surviving the impossible. Somewhere in the back you can almost hear Eddie Munson's grin. Order is called. The principal's shout echoes, peeking through the speakers, and for a moment Mike freezes. A flash, a pang, 11, gone. The past weighs heavy, unrelenting before he can push it aside and stand tall. Then, life persists. The popular girls nod toward Dustin and his friends, an invitation to their party, and the room seems to tilt. The tides have shifted. For the first time in a long time, Hawkins' kids feel normal again. Night falls. The squawk is alive with quiet music and rooftop lights. Steve pours another beer, a little rough around the edges, simultaneously the school's baseball coach and its sex ed teacher, a bizarre, perfect combination. Robin laughs from across the roof, narrating stories with her usual wry tone. Nancy leans on the railing, cigarette long extinguished, a newspaper tucked under her arm, college abandoned, but her voice finally being heard. Jonathan snaps pictures, his camera pointing toward the skyline, eyes sharp, living his artist's life in New York now but returning home for this. They watch the town breathe beneath them. They watch each other. I don't want this to end, Robin says, and everyone knows what she means. Then it won't, Steve says. We'll meet every month. For a moment the laughter and conversation feel endless. But just beneath it, the echoes of their past linger. The losses, the victories, the people who aren't there. They carry it with them, quietly, like a secret only they understand. And yet, for the first time, the future feels theirs. They lean back, shoulders brushing. For once Hawkins feels small and safe. The Wheeler basement feels alive again. Dice clatter across the table. The game board sprawls out before them. Monsters, maps and imagination. Max has claimed her place among the group, leaning over the table with a fierce glare at Mike's final boss. She shouts, she rages, she threatens the villain with all the energy she used to throw at the Upside Down. But then a spark of strategy hits them. Backup, a mage. The nod is unmistakable. 11, their mage, their friend, their guiding force through so many impossible odds. Even in her absence she's still part of the game. The group rallies. Dice roll, minis charge, the boss falls. And in that moment victory isn't just for the game, it's for them. For every fight they survived. Every fear they conquered. Max smirks, glaring at Mike. Your storytelling is weak, she says. Mike straightens. He summons all his best narrative magic, weaving an ending for each of them. Cross-cutting scenes in his mind as the dice tumble and the candlelight flickers. Lucas and Max finally share that movie date they'd been teasing for years. Each laugh and glance a quiet victory. Dustin packs for college, books and notebooks stacked high, but still carves out time for Steve, for friendship that has endured every absurd and terrifying event Hawkins could throw at them. Will moves to a bigger city, finding acceptance for who he is, finally daring to love openly. His smile's no longer tinged with fear. Mike pauses, voice softer now. The others lean in. There's one story I can't finish, he says. The story of the mage. The room goes still, the air catching in that shared pause. He explains, in her final moments, 11 didn't truly vanish. Kali cast an illusion, letting her slip away unseen. The figure they saw at the gate, the one who waved goodbye, wasn't real. No one knows where she went, but Mike likes to imagine it. Waterfalls, sunlight, peace, somewhere she can rest, far from the military, far from the horrors of Hawkins. His friends ask if he knows it's true. Mike shakes his head. I don't, but I choose to believe it. A quiet agreement passes across the table. They all do. A final shared act of faith, a way of giving their mage the ending she deserves. The dice are returned to the box, miniatures tucked away. The books slide back onto the shelf. And as they climb the stairs, the next generation descends. Holly and her friends, new adventurers, flood into the basement. Voices high and loud, bickering, strategizing, teasing each other just like the originals did. Mike pauses on the stairs, watching them. The torch has been passed. A smile creeps across his face. Quiet, satisfied, bittersweet. Then he closes the door. The basement is alive once more. And so is Hawkins. And that's how the story ends. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.